We'll see. Oh.
Every time. I love when I do it without a warning. I love it.
That's our way of saying it's time to get into some things.
Good. Y'all straighten the hell up. Y'all straighten the hell up when y'all hear that.
That's funny.
Let me go ahead and share the screen here.
Yes, I can't wait. Low key lost, weren't we all?
We were so lost, child. So lost. I don't know if y'all can hear the little music.
I can't hear.
I can't
Oh,
hear it.
I wonder if it'll play like when I play it on the.
Take your pods out. Hey, wait, what's your pods connected to?
Oh, you know what? You're probably right. It's connected to my computer.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever. It's Buddy. It's Buddy. It's the song's called Bad Decisions. It's off the season 4 soundtrack. We gonna move.
Yes, season 4 soundtrack.
So Insecure season 4.
Yes.
Last and final episode. Low key lost. Man, oh man. We'll get into some things today. So we'll be talking about like a finale recap, of course. We can go through some of the predictions even that we made throughout the season to see which ones came true and which ones were very far-fetched. We can even talk about favorite moments from the season and maybe what you think for season 5. If we have time, we can get into those things. But, you know. So let's get into it.
Let's get into some things.
From LA nigga to trolley nigga. My nigga Lawrence is on the come up. We learned that Lawrence got the job. We can officially stop calling him a bum. Stop calling Lawrence a bum.
He had a job. What? He's still a bum. No, I'm just kidding.
He literally had a job since season 1. But we ain't gonna get into it.
Jamal, no caping tonight. I ain't got the energy. No caping tonight. I ain't got the energy.
We can
listen, that ain't even what we supposed to be talking about right now. I don't even know what we're
doing. We know how you feel about Lawrence. So we can stop calling him a bum. He got his own team, he got his own office, and he got an assistant. And he also mentions his relocation fee, which is to me his hint to say, Issa, what's good between us? So did you expect Issa to be so willing to start a long distance relationship with Lawrence?
I don't think anybody realistically expected her to be as eager. She was hella eager, and I just was like, oh, it's like she didn't even have to think about it. Like, this was like, hey, I'm willing to make this work. It's a 45-minute flight. I could do this. I could just make new friends. And I was like, whoa, I know you trying to do what makes you happy, but that was very eager.
She seemed very open to trying it out long distance and then possibly starting all the way over. And I was just like,
I just thought it was crazy how they literally just started back getting together, and it's like you're already willing to sacrifice. Like, I felt like she had so much going on in LA with the new job and everything and new career path that I thought, and I think I even said before, like, I thought LA was the perfect scenario and place for her to do that job. But I was like, dang, she's just ready to go. Like,
I let her have it because she was like, let's see. She wasn't just like, I'm coming, like, you know what I'm saying? But I think I was kind of surprised at how she was just like, yup, I'll move. But I was like, that's easy to say when, like, you don't really know, like, y'all kind of, you're on the up and up. And so if you see it potentially going somewhere, like, yeah, like, you can see yourself starting a life with him. But
I think also that the fact that her and Molly are on the outs as well, I think that also influenced her decision.
Yeah, because she was like, I mean, I'm going to have to get new friends anyway.
Right.
So
that's kind of the face she made, like, I got a friend, so, yeah.
I did say that. I said, boy, it ain't nothing like somebody wanting to move. Like, it's easy to move when you ain't got no friends or you done got into with somebody.
I'm watching. Yeah, you can pack up your stuff. I can go anywhere.
But I also did say that she doesn't have to be stationary, I don't feel, for her job. I think in order for her to still do what she does that she can come in and out of town as she needs to, and it'll still work.
Right.
Like she doesn't need to be there 5 days a week for, the work that she does currently.
Were y'all feeling the vibes between the two of them? Like, did you think that, they literally are picking up where they left off?
It was weird when I'm just looking at this picture. That was a very weird scene for me because I didn't know what Lawrence is really
He was acting fishy. He's been acting fishy since last week.
But she's just still so awkward. It's just like, to me, it's like any relationship she's in, I think I'm going to probably feel weird about it because I just feel like she's so awkward.
I did think the energy was a little weird, especially while she's talking about how open she is to the concept of making it work and seeing how this long distance thing goes. Like, while she was saying that, like, he kind of seemed unsure. You're like, right. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm wondering if like he was lying about when he found out about the baby news.
I thought about that, but I also was like, nah, those tears were, I just found out and I'm trying to figure out how to have this conversation.
Right.
Like, if it was eating him up like that, he would have definitely had said something sooner.
Yeah.
I just think their vibe is a little different this go around. Like, I know, like, when he was with Condola, I thought their connection was a little stronger than it is now that they're actually together. Like, I think they might be worried. Huh?
I think they might be worried. He might be, like, and whether or not this will work. Because it's like he picked a horrible time to rekindle something, given both the job and what else happened later on. So I feel like he might be worried about whether this is going to work, whether or not this is something that he should give up on. He had worried about quitting early, previously. So I think he has a lot of concerns on making this work, while she is like more optimistic about making it work.
Because, I mean, she's the one that has something to prove, essentially. Like, I mean, we all know that they both contributed to the breakup, but the breakup was because of the cheating at the end of the day. And I feel like she just got something to prove at this point. And she's like, I'm in. Like, we're going to get it right this time.
Yeah.
Moving on. Anybody have any other comments about Lawrence and Issa?
Not at this time, Karen.
Thank you. So to no surprise, Molly and Andrew. So we see Molly brings
no surprise.
Andrew.
Not a one.
Molly brings Andrew to her firm's party. BJ approaches the two while they're at the bar. He invites them out to an after party, which seems to spark Molly's interest, but not Andrew's. Andrew gives in when Molly mentions being able to tie in Andrew's profession. Do you think the compromise was good for Andrew, or do you think he was annoyed with even staying?
He was absolutely annoyed.
Even
after she said we can get the DJ to play the music.
Right. Yeah, he talking about drinks are on you.
He was trying to compromise.
And he was just like, he goes, and I'm like, Molly, read. This man don't want to be in no more.
He did not want to be there. And that was funny to me.
I don't think she cares. Long as she get what she wants out of the situation, I don't think she cares.
Learn as long as Molly gets what she wants.
But it was so funny to me when the guy asked and they both said completely different answers, and he was like, he kind of was just like, this is awkward, but he was just like, all right, well, I'll let y'all figure that out, and he just left. And I was like, even he knows how weird this is.
She wanted to bring her ass to BJ crib or wherever that damn after party was.
BJ crib.
Is he the young one?
You know what
I was saying earlier.
I don't know where the party was.
I thought it was at like a bar or something.
It was.
Okay.
Karen just missed.
BJ will be in season 5. Okay. Anything you want to add about BJ?
No, but was he the young coworker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The one who was an intern at one point.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Do we foresee him being potentially added to season 5?
They haven't given me any reason to think that besides that one little scene.
Right.
Well, this is the second scene. I think this is the second time we've seen them.
For the second time.
They always bringing in. They introduce new men for Molly all the time.
Oh,
yeah.
So it don't matter if they here for a good time or a long time, but they will be brought into the storyline.
Not here good for a good time or a long time.
Yeah.
Y'all remember Little Rail?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about Lil Rail.
So if BJ's not there next year, it's because they done found somebody else. And let's just bring in somebody to be Molly's love interest.
Yeah, I think she does need a nice little black man to handle her ass.
Handle me? Who gonna handle me?
He didn't cut it. He just wasn't cutting it. Alrighty, everybody, Issa, everybody. I thought that was funny. She talking about what she said. They're tired. They're all tired.
Yeah.
So Issa goes to visit Nathan to see his new shop. Nathan apologizes for throwing shade towards Lawrence when he last saw her. She emphasizes that she is with Lawrence once more and says to Nathan, "If it's too much for you," which he cuts off quickly with the response, "It's not."
It's fine, Sal.
Why did he cut her off that quick? It's not. Like we know in episode 9, he mentions Issa being a valuable person to his life. Do you think that answer or that response was because he's like genuinely wants to be her friend, or you think it was more so like he still is romantically trying to get involved?
Oh, he wants her for sure.
He wants her. He definitely wants her. And he's just like, I'm not going to come for things that she wants right now in an effort not to mess up any chance I might have down the road.
Right. I think he's just waiting for it to fall apart. That's what I think. So.
Because he feels how he feels. I think he just says, I didn't mean to say it to you, Pooh.
Right.
I was just about to say, I know he apologized about that shade towards Lawrence, but he meant that.
Yeah, he definitely.
He feels like,
yeah,
I'm the better man, and this is what you want and what you need. Like I feel like he really, if he met Lawrence, he probably would be like, this guy.
Lawrence taller than him though.
It would be
a real struggle for me. It would be a real struggle for me.
We know how you are.
Yeah.
But
it would be a real struggle for me.
I just feel like Nathan, I think he just thinks he connects with Issa in a way that, he hasn't connected with anybody before. And honestly, looking at this episode, her connection with Nathan is stronger than Lawrence.
No.
It is.
Stop.
It is.
It's not.
I need some background info on your thoughts of why.
Why do I think?
Yeah.
I just think, I'm talking about current day state of
after the whole Condola news and all that.
Correct.
Or before.
I'm not giving you that. I'm definitely not giving you that.
Why?
Because that was a shock to her. Like, that's just a momentary, it may be a momentary feeling. Like, it was just a big rush of unexpected news.
It's the reason the
block
party happened. Nathan is the reason the block party happened.
No, he's not. He's just the reason she got a headliner.
Hey, listen.
Or Nathan is the reason she fell out with Molly. We could do this. Karen, we can do
this. Do y'all think that Nathan and her should continue to be friends even after establishing? Like, do you think like Issa even knows and recognizes that Nathan is feeling her?
I think that if she notices it, then they shouldn't be friends. So I don't know if she really notices that right now.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Issa is an awkward person, and I do understand the feeling too that if somebody had just disclosed to me what Nathan just disclosed to her last week, even if I knew, like, if I felt like, oh, he feeling me or something like that, I'm not just gonna cut him off immediately like that. Like, I'm gonna feel bad about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would probably just find a way to deal with it. So
yeah.
It's like
give him the chance to at least cross the line, so you can be like,
Lord, that's messy.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna not be your friend, and then you have like a breakdown, and I'ma feel super responsible. These are my awkward shoulders.
Brandy said, give him a chance to cross the line.
No, I'm just saying, or don't cut him off immediately. You know what I'm saying? Because he can be he could be 100% respectful of her in a relationship.
Right. It sounded messier than it is, but give him a chance to cross the line. Jesus. Poor Lawrence. All right. Tell them who's boss, Andrew. Tell them who is boss. Molly and Andrew are back at home with Andrew seemingly over it. Molly decides over it. Molly decides she wants to go get some rest while Andrew wants to watch TV, looking for LaToya reunion. I couldn't. Molly tells
it was the last straw for him.
Molly tells Andrew not to watch it without her, in which he replies, "Of course, we'll do it on your schedule." Andrew calls Molly out for them always doing what Molly wants. Molly tries to imply that she has made compromises for him, but Andrew calls her out finally for dismissing his feelings all the time. Do you think Molly did enough when it comes to being available for Andrew and like spreading her time between work and Andrew? Did she do that? Like, he mentioned that being a problem.
No. And it's not even about all the way about work. You know what I mean? It's just like Molly doesn't really do enough to be available for people, period. And it's not just physically, but it's emotionally. And yeah. So
facts.
But it's y'all take me back for a second, because I was trying to remember. So before they went to Mexico, and up to the point where she invited him over for dinner and they had that fallout, it seemed as though things were going okay. Like,
things were going okay, which is what I found slightly odd for him to kind of do.
Wait, what's the timeline again? From when to
when?
So the time that she invited him over for dinner, she made that gumbo, and they had this slight fallout about when she was asking him about his sister.
Okay.
Up until the point of Mexico, it seemed like things were going okay. That's why I was confused about, like, when he was like, "What are you really fighting for?"
The relationship had just started developing.
I think so things were going okay.
What point did you start feeling?
I think like he said, he's been feeling this way for a long time, and it's really not an overview of how he feels about the relationship, but the things that are present that bother him continue to bother him because they continue to happen. Like Molly, and I think the underlying thing is that Molly really didn't, care about that relationship. That's just how I perceived it. I think she was more concerned about not fucking up, to the point that she didn't make sure that she wasn't fucking up. Because she was fucking up with when it came to work, when it came to, how he felt about, the situation with with his brother, or just in general. But I also did find it, weird in how he brought the conversation up. It was like, okay, so he just said, looking for LaToya. That's where he draw the line. Like,
right.
We gotta lay this out.
Everything.
I think it was just that, like, in the moment, he just said that snarky thing, and of course she was like, "Well, what's that?"
He was fine. Yeah, after he said, "Of course, we'll do it on your schedule," it was like, "Well, what does that mean?" Like,
right.
And I think Jamal had a
get
really
into
good
some things then.
I think Jamal had a really good point too when he said that, like, it was almost as if, like, it was a metric for her, because you can even recall when she was like, "This is the longest that either one of us have been in a relationship."
Right.
So it's like, is it the focus of wanting to meet that goal, or are you genuinely in it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think
you said by the time they went to what happened between the gumbo dinner night and then the Mexico trip, but by the time they got to Mexico, they had already had the block party too, so he was already peeping how she handled the Issa situation as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting ready to say too. Seemingly things were going great between them, between Gumbo and then the whole
Gumbo.
Gumbo.
That's all his ass remember. That Gumbo.
But yeah, seemingly things were kind of going well, but then it was like you could kind of peep like when he would because he always makes like those faces and he's just kind of like,
yeah,
you know, he was so. Yeah, and they definitely still had those moments, even when it was seemingly going well. Because I think I told Jamar earlier, like even when they was on the plane in Mexico, I was just like, oh, I'm just so tired. I want to get there. I just, I want to lay down. And he's just like, but my brother kind of had something planned, so.
Right.
So Andrew just showed that he was way too willing to compromise in every situation, and we had talked about it before. I said he was passive. Shakir was like, no, he's just easy going. It's not that big a deal. But all of these things do add up. And it's like you played that role for so long and gave into every single compromise until it was a problem that y'all need to break up to this point. Rather than maybe if you had kind of started out, you remember the lady from the little Uber said, I told my son, you got to start out how you intend to hold out. And I don't think that was the dynamic that Andrew had ever set in their relationship to where it is going to be a mutual thing rather than me always giving in and letting you take charge like I like. But it's low key bothering me. Like, I feel like that if that was the dynamic that he kind of had set forth early on, they probably wouldn't have got to that point.
Right. I disagree. Because I think the problem is Molly doesn't give it back. It's just like I don't think that he necessarily minded most of the times that he was giving it. You know what I'm saying? Because literally that's what compromise is most of the time, is you just being like, okay, whatever you want to do. I don't want to do it, but whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? And it's just like, there were times, a couple of times more so than others, that he maybe had wanted that back and Molly just didn't give it back. And those things came more recently with his brother, with the job. And then he's just like, I guess in his mind, he's like, I gave you the small things. And in his mind, these are very small things that you just literally won't give to me. And and just like they say, dang, I'm about to mess it up. I ain't even gonna go. I'm about to go back to that scripture about the man with the little and the man with the lot. Y'all remember?
Stay full of the future.
Hey, look,
but anyways, it's like, yeah, if you want to do it with a little bit, you ain't gonna do it with a lot. That's the spirit.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah.
So when he said that he bent over backwards for her throughout the relationship, was that a true statement?
Yeah.
I would think so, yeah.
Because she was confused. She didn't know what he did for her.
Of course.
I
mean, she didn't know what
that was a trick question. This fool said because she was confused. She
Molly literally was like, what have you done for me?
Yeah. And I think, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he basically said what I was saying the other week, like, it's too hard this soon.
Facts.
Yeah.
Wait, it should not be. We're supposed to be in the honeymoon phase.
Right.
The hell? Right, so we went from finding LaToya to trying to find Tiffany.
Why you say those exact words?
I did.
I said them exact words.
Same thing.
That's exactly what I felt.
What was even better was the showrunner on Twitter saying we tied back finding LaToya into finding Tiffany, and everybody was like, we want to know where LaToya
is. We didn't want it.
I needed a conclusion. I needed a closure on LaToya. Because how did we get from last week she was still missing to a reunion?
Right.
But
somebody call Sway and ask him how.
I told y'all they weren't gonna give it to us though. They don't be giving us resolution in these side shows, which makes us want more. But
I'm gonna go listen to. They got the 30-minute podcast, so I'm gonna see if it reveals anything. I haven't been able.
I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again.
What you mean? You didn't like it?
Because I tried to listen to it the first time, and I was like, "What is
we're interested."
No, but I'm gonna try it one more time because
see what happens with it.
What's her face was really giving her all. Lavita Lachey.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I need to listen. I'm gonna have to listen. So Molly and Andrew are interrupted by repeated calls from Kelly. We learned that Derek is in search of Tiffany. This brings the girls back together in search for her. With Derek, they are heavily in search for Tiffany, reviewing camera footage, tracing her footsteps, and calling around town. Number one, were y'all upset with the amount of time spent on this?
Yes.
Absolutely. This is some shit they should have replaced this storyline
2 episodes ago.
Seriously, they should have used this instead of that old man.
Boy, I was sitting there
Not on the
literally
finale.
watching it like Tiffany. When they found Tiffany, I was a little upset because she was just like, oh.
Right. She did care.
And I was
let's talk about it.
I thought she was at the hotel with a whole nother man the way they acted.
I thought she was there with a man. I thought she was there with a man.
Thank you.
I was ready for something very dramatic, and then we got basically what was said the whole season about the PTSD. We don't got no baby drama. We don't got nothing with them.
It was anticlimactic, and for it to be as anticlimactic as it was, it's on the finale. We also got like other things that we feel like need to be resolved, but like we spent a good amount of time, like the whole movie theater to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is a lot of time.
The whole bus scene.
That 10 seconds of
the police scene.
Bad.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of scenes happening that I just thought was so unnecessary. But
Kelly was funny though, wasn't she?
Yeah, Kelly was good. And I feel like that's what they really wanted to do was kind of highlight, because we haven't seen the all of them in a few episodes.
Since like episode 5, since the block party.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. So I guess they had to tie it in somewhere and somehow, but I definitely was a little upset with the amount of time that was spent, doing or with them searching for her. But I also am like, I don't even know what they would have included, because they did cover everything we needed with Molly, and they covered everything we needed with Issa.
What do we get from that? Like, what do we get for that? I just didn't know what to do.
The writing was still horrible in this scene because they still didn't highlight the points of her postpartum.
Okay. I think she was supposed to drive it home with good acting.
Thank you. I was about to say the same thing. Because if we look at that scene,
work out.
Did y'all not watch the wind down? Did y'all watch the wind down where she specifically, your girl Amanda,
he said that was acting.
That was acting. That's why
and I was like, where?
That's why y'all felt that.
No, we didn't feel that. And honestly,
that's why I don't like her. That's exactly why I don't do her. That's exactly why I don't do her.
She was like, you know why y'all felt that? Because that was good acting. And Issa was just sitting there like,
okay, girl.
I think even Issa knew that shit was terrible.
Yeah, I think she did too.
I thought that was interesting.
And I don't think she killed it. I think they threw the alley-oop and she just let it go out of bounds, because that was supposed to be the moment. Like, we were supposed to remember.
She missed the dunk.
Nah, she didn't catch the ball.
Okay. I don't know if y'all really want to dive any more into Tiffany and Derek. I do have like questions on here. Did anybody feel like, I don't know. I'm so pissed about the amount of time that was spent on the two and for it to not have been something so dramatic. Like the drama,
right?
I'm just so pissed about
it. Didn't contribute much to it. Like you said, we found what we left with from that situation is what we knew from the beginning of the season.
Right.
Except I feel like I got clarity that the baby is Derek's. The baby is Derek's.
The baby's Derek. Did y'all at least start to like her?
How we know?
You see her. No, not how we know.
Well, I mean, it could have been.
Remember, the behavior was either postpartum or the behavior was Derek wasn't a daddy. So I feel like they kind of.
I thought it was both, honestly. So, but continue. I thought I had missed something in the episode that like definitively said he was the dad. That's why I asked.
No.
Listen,
nothing has been proven.
And that's what I brought up last week. I was like, she really enjoys letting people run with these storylines. And that's one that is like, it's been there since like season 2.
Yeah.
And we about to go into season 5. No type of clarity on that situation.
Oh, and I need to know. Derek was very patient though.
Yes, he
Derek
was.
stood at that door. She said
he was blaming himself for everything.
Derek's bus scene was like 55 seconds.
No, Derek. She said, "Who is it?" Derek said, "Babe." I said, "If you don't get off my screen."
Hey.
The action was bad when the door was closed.
I said, "If they don't get off my screen,"
she was
on Tony's account. Why they got her acting bad behind the door? The door closed.
Okay. Y'all are not letting her
the
have
acting
it.
was still bad with the door closed.
Bruh, she said you got her acting bad behind the door.
Behind that damn door. I said, what the hell is this?
Oh my God.
I was like, is there a man in there? The hell? I said, there ain't no man in there.
I think everybody should look at Shell real quick.
What's she doing?
Oh my God.
Michelle, I'm sick of it already.
Sick of it.
Did you hear her doing the wind down when she was explaining how good her acting is? So much so that like she allowed her nails to grow out without a manicure. You know, over
her nails were done in the scene. I'm going back to the slide. Oh, you can't really see it. Her nails, like, is behind that Derek, that K and Derek. The things are painted white.
She had a manicure because she wanted to prepare for that
nails
scene.
Nails are painted white.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the wind down because I ain't see that part, but I did see that part.
Maybe she got them done. Maybe she got them done when she left her husband.
Look, y'all,
oh, done.
She lied.
No, not you moved the font. You won't be able to see her if it grew out from there.
Please edit this so she don't play ether and go off on us.
Well, who cares?
Listen.
All right, we're gonna move on. I'm just so mad still. I was pissed. I was literally pissed watching this mess.
Oh my God, man.
All right, then we get back to the real shit. So what are you fighting for right now, Molly? Molly and Andrew are finally able to speak after being interrupted every time they begin to get into some things. Andrew reveals that the two of them are not on the same page and that he has been feeling this way for a while. Molly tries to convince Andrew that they should be together and she would do whatever it took to save their relationship. Andrew asks, is this what you really want, Molly? Do you think Molly genuinely wanted to be with Andrew or did she just like the idea?
The idea.
Same thing since the beginning. The idea, because she doesn't show the effort that makes you think otherwise, but she talks to talk. Like when she was talking about how supportive he is and how he understands and all this other stuff while abandoning him. But she's now like ready to fight for this relationship because she cares so much, but she was ignoring all of the signs that, you know, could have saved the relationship.
You really could have.
I say it was the idea too, because I mean, originally, if you think about it, like she had an issue with trying to dating an Asian guy, and then even wrestling with the idea of classifying him as an exemption at the pool with his brother. She was like, "Oh, you're different." So it's like you've never really accepted, you know, him for him, but you accepted the idea of wanting to be something.
Right.
So like what type of man does Molly? Oh, go ahead, Jamal.
I was just saying that she was, you know, more than anything, she just didn't want to fuck it up. More than anything. I don't think that she...
But was that something to her or just because like Issa was like, you know, had said that one statement to her, like, was she just trying to prove that for herself or like other people? Like,
I think it's both. I think it's both. She spent a lot of time in other seasons too trying to grow in that aspect of her life. And a lot of times it's happened before where she tries so hard to not be the one to fuck something up that she fucks it up. Like when she was so thirsty about, you know, a relationship and she would just do the most. In this particular case, she was so thirsty about the idea that she really didn't do enough.
I just want to know, what type of man does Molly need? What type of man do they need to bring in for her ass?
I think Molly. What type of man do you need to bring in?
Alone. She needs to be alone.
She needs to be alone. I do agree.
I also agree.
Does Issa need to be alone too?
Honestly, yes.
Okay, I was about to say, does Issa need to be alone?
I said that Issa need to be alone. They need to be together.
Yes.
That's what it is. What kind of man? What kind of man do Molly need? She need a Issa. That's what she needs.
Okay, that's very true.
She messed it up too.
She already did.
Karen, that's a deep ass slide. It just looks. I don't know. It looks artistically. I don't know. It just looks deep.
It shows. This is a real slide. My girl is heartbroken.
I see.
Every time I was in LA, it was with my ex-girlfriend.
Okay. Messy. So Lawrence arrives at Issa's place. He's clearly out of it. He tells Issa Condola came over and revealed to him that she is pregnant. The heartbreak on Issa's face at this news shows that she is lost and confused, leading her to many questions for Lawrence. Now, the show redeemed itself for me at this point as far as like the camp, like how they told us, and how they told the story and all of that. I love.
Yeah.
I love how
I like
flashing back. I thought that was.
It made up
so
for that
good.
Molly face for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
That damn Tiffany shit. So we see Lawrence ask Condola, "Are you sure it's mine?" Can you be sure it's his?
It's a valid question. It's a valid.
Very
I
valid.
think he can.
Very valid.
I'm gonna tell y'all this.
And I was like, it's a valid question.
Yes. I've been writing this whole season from the comfort of my home, but I really feel like Condola already had a side dude. I still feel like we never found out who she went to. Was it Palm Beach with? But whatever. And I feel like the whole time I really feel like Condola been doing her, and she probably got knocked up by some nigga who was just ain't ish. And she was like, let me say it's Lawrence's because I know what type of guy he is. Like that's
we think Condola is
Yep.
I don't trust her. I think so.
Be as involved as you want to be. That's that man's baby. Like she's not.
But no, I feel like she said that because she knew that he would. Like she knows the kind of guy he is.
No, I feel like she said it because honestly,
no, because at any minute that man could be a good man and be like, for real. No pregnant person saying that to a dude.
And I think that also has to show like her independence because we know Condola got coins. So I mean, some women who have it, like you know,
straight,
regardless, the baby.
She told her, she said, "I'm good.
Right?
I know
she did.
I know
when she
women.
Said that, I said, "Oh, she just want that baby. She don't need Lawrence."
I know women who are in that same type of space as Condola. It was like if this did happen in their life and that person ain't the person that they need to be with, they not just about to be in that situation because they pregnant. It's like, nah, I got the coins. We gonna be good no matter what.
Right.
And you can choose to be over here or not.
I'm not saying that that's not valid either. I just don't trust her.
We gotta get into why a lot of y'all don't trust her.
I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something a little. I just don't think you just got over Lawrence that quickly, and you know, you just. I don't know. She just seems a little.
You know,
messy.
I've been on the fence about Lawrence and Issa. One week I'm against it, the next week I'm for it. But I think I was finally for it, and she just presented an issue. And so I was no longer here for her.
It's funny because I think a lot of people thought, because I did actually see on Twitter somebody was like, well, at least we got over like the whole Condola might be pregnant thing. And I was like, there's one more episode left. And what did they do?
Boom.
You know what? And it was crazy because I was just like, I think I said a few weeks back, I was like, yeah, I think Condola done for the rest of this season. Like, we
you sure did. You sure did.
Yeah, and Condola
came back.
Condola she just dang, never mind, y'all. I'm feeling tonight. I was about to say something about the bag. What she got? She just secured the bag.
But did y'all get upset?
Right, now that he going to San Francisco, he got an office and a team.
Did y'all get a little upset though because it seems? Did y'all get upset because it's like a little bit of repetition from the game?
I am. I said it.
Yeah,
I think that I think we all know Issa to write things in a very boring way based off of her like movies and stuff. Like she doesn't. She does that on purpose.
Yeah,
though. Like,
she does.
She doesn't want it to be like dramatic, and she's like, no, it is possible for people to just have happy lives and not any drama. So yeah, it was kind of weird that for her to be behind the show and knowing what I know about like her writing history, for her to include that, I didn't think it was necessary.
Well, I mean, this whole show been messy though. Like,
it's been predictably.
It's
been predictably messy. We kind of knew every move that we were coming at. We knew that they were going to get back together from episode 1 or 2. We knew they were going to get back together. And
honestly, I feel like they letting us ride it, and they just going.
Honestly, from as realistic as I feel the show is, in that aspect, I don't mind Condola popping up pregnant, even if it relates to another show, because that is a very real thing. Like a very real thing with people getting pregnant with somebody Condola and him were actually together, but either getting pregnant by somebody you're not with or getting pregnant by someone you're no longer with. Like that is a very real thing.
Right.
And it usually happens, you done went your whole 20s doing whatever, and it do be like 30, 31, and because that happened to a friend of mine. It's just like, dang, you went your whole 20s, and now you're 30, and look at
you. When Condola says that she was not ready with Mark for ex-husband, but now she is that because of herself, or do you think that's because of the man she's having the baby with?
It ain't got nothing to do with Lawrence.
Yeah, I think it is her. Yeah, she's at that age.
She's at the age, and something that she said kind of insinuated that she's not doing that again. Like if she was in a situation before, she's not doing that again. And I was like, okay, well, I can understand that being more of a personal thing than have anything to do with Lawrence.
Right.
But at the Thanksgiving party, she was saying she didn't want a family. I can't remember the exact quote.
She didn't want to be married. She just didn't want to be married.
Okay.
And Lawrence took that and started assuming she didn't want a family, and she was like, I never said that.
Oh, but y'all remember when I said that if Condola got pregnant, that I felt like Lawrence would like dump Issa. I think I said something to that nature on one of those episodes and try to do right by Condola. And I just been proved wrong on so many levels. And I'm probably
put some respect on my boy.
But Lawrence said, I still want you.
If Issa goes like, I don't want this, like it is a possibility that he might try to make it work for the baby. We never know. Season 5 or 6.
So are you saying that if she says that she does want to make it work with Lawrence,
she might be like, you know what, I can't get past the baby. That just ain't gonna be a thing for me. And it could be possible that him and Condola can be together.
Yeah. But do we think Condola even wants that though?
No.
Nah. It didn't seem like
you never know. It might be.
I don't think she wants to be with Lawrence either anyway. And honestly, I'm not sure Lawrence even wants to be with her anymore. Like, I don't think he even
they don't seem to want to be with each other, but
that seems like a nightmare though. To be done and like cut off and then thinking that you over here about to live your best life and then get hit with that, bruh. Listen.
Yeah, Lawrence
seen them eyes.
Lawrence was definitely, he was distraught, man. He was hurt. And I know if my ass was pregnant and that man was sitting there saying, I don't want this. And he was literally saying some stuff where I was like, the hell? Like,
hey, listen,
like,
I didn't mind.
No.
I told that to Shakira.
At least he was honest.
I told Shakira that he said what needed to be said, even if it made him sound like an asshole. That was very real. You gotta say,
we're not even together.
Is it mine? Ask, is it mine?
We're not even together. This is not supposed to happen. I don't
we was being careful.
Are you keeping it?
Right.
The only thing that made me mad about Lawrence in that whole scene was when Lawrence goes, I think he said, why would you keep it? Like, are you keeping it? And then he goes, like, why would you?
Why? He said, yes, why?
And I was just like,
he was hot.
And it was too casual for me. Like, he had no issue saying that, because the other things I didn't mind, because I'm like, if you're not ready for a baby, you're not ready for a baby. And I empathize with that. Like, you know what I mean? But on the same token, I also said, it's also the risk you take when you out here slanging the dick. But if you ain't ready, you ain't ready. But it was just
but he was slanging the dick. But they also said they thought they were being very careful.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so does that mean pull out game or
girl? Pull out game is not careful.
Nobody ever said.
I had a question because I was like, what did the condom break? Y'all didn't know. Like, what is being careful? I got questions.
that were using condoms, which is why he was so confused.
Yeah, which is
he
why
was really confused. Like, he was tore up about that thing.
So what do y'all feel about Issa's reaction?
Well, if you mad about Lawrence saying is she gonna keep it, you should be mad at Issa, because technically the way
I wasn't mad at anybody's reaction.
Yes, it was a flowing conversation. So whatever Issa said, Condola responded.
Hold on, one person at a time. What did Issa ask?
She didn't ask it, but I think Issa asked the question, is she keeping it? And then it switched to Condola, and Condola was like, yes, I'm keeping it. Or it could have been reversed. But either way, Issa initially, she asked Lawrence, what is she keeping it?
I gotta go back
because
and watch
that's a real conversation. That is a real conversation that you
Issa was basically asking the same questions Lawrence asked. That's why it flowed that well. So it was like
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Though he's gonna seem like the asshole for saying it, but it was all things that definitely needed to be discussed. Why it's not logical for us to be in this situation, and why, first off, is it mine? And what I personally, only thing I would have switched was asking what you plan to do with this situation, because it kind of put it in her court. It's open-ended. She can then say, I want to keep it. Now I can bring up why, because this ain't ideal.
Right.
So are Issa and Lawrence able to, hypothetically, if the baby is in fact Lawrence's, which I don't think it is, but if it is, can Issa and Lawrence still work?
I mean, they can. People have done it before. It's not nothing new. It's just,
it worked
do
out
they want it to?
It worked out last time we saw this on a TV show.
Yeah.
But
you know what? That's funny, Jamal.
That is funny.
Honestly, in a realistic standpoint, I was trying to be here for Issa, but I was like, he got the girl pregnant before you. Like, why are you so mad?
Right,
he ain't asking you to be the stepmama and move the baby.
You have to remember though. I think Issa wanted to be the first one to have that moment with Lawrence, because even thinking about the flash, the little scenario that they did where I guess they had the kids, like even thinking about that, like that's what she envisioned, I think, for them. And to know that somebody like Condola can just come along and get this baby out of you, and we just starting to build. Yeah, I think she was just processing that, like,
and of course he's probably going to decide to be a father, and then that's going to clearly take you know, something away from their relationship. Like he's
gonna be a
have
priority. I tell you.
Yeah,
his priorities
are gonna change and stuff.
I thought about it too. It'd be a lot, you know what I'm saying, for them to like start back building, and then you know what I'm saying, he has to go to the delivery room, and he got to be with Condola during that time period. It's just like
she needs something. He gotta.
He going through a whole life changing like situation, and y'all just trying to get your relationship together. Like, I don't even know. They haven't even really resolved everything to just be like jump into this.
Right.
It's just so sad. It's such bad timing.
Now I'm wondering, like, is he probably also questioning like the move and stuff at this point, like, and all of that would entail, because I don't know how far San Fran is from LA, but it don't seem too close. So
45 minutes. It's a 45-minute flight.
It's a 45-minute flight, but it's about a 4-hour drive. I looked up earlier.
Okay.
Now I looked up. Take a train.
Thank you for doing that extra research.
All right.
I think it'll be awkward for them to try to do, like, if this was like, if they had been together a while, or if, you know. But it's a lot of different factors coming in right at the beginning of them rekindling this. Like, the baby by itself is a lot, but then this job opportunity that you're thinking about taking, that's something else. So I don't necessarily know if the question should be, can they make it work? Does she want to make it work?
Right.
I think she can, but if it's not what she wants, then she needs to just go and let it be.
I definitely don't see myself flying out 45 minutes for a baby on the way. Yeah, the whole baby on the way.
I know that for sure in that moment I would be like, I definitely need to take a beat, because this is a very new situation and y'all need to figure that out. And after the baby is about to, you let me know.
But you know what? And I'm probably very outdated. I outdated in my next statement, but Issa in her 30s, all these niggas probably got babies.
That's true. That is true.
But once again, if you met them and they got kids already, you know, like TSA Bay had a slew. You already they done been through the pregnancy and all of that prenatal, all that stuff. So she probably, I mean, it's probably a little different when you already know like somebody got a child.
Yeah, you
had one on the way, but it's a little different. It's like,
it's on the way. We in the process. We gonna be going.
You just found out. Like, it's a lot of first stages in that.
It is. And him and Condola haven't even decided how they're gonna co-parent. So I can't even make a good decision, because I don't even know what your plans are in regards to this pregnancy. And like, y'all haven't come up with a plan for me to even say, I can deal with that.
Right.
So yikes, it's gonna be a lot. Next
It is about to be late. It was so much that Issa had to hit that damn J on that beautiful ass balcony. She had to hit that J on that beautiful balcony. I feel for my girl. I think that was. She's had many moments where I felt like she like has been like really down and out, but that like woo.
Oh, what was that statement that she made?
She played that role, boy.
She was like, just when she thought everything was going right or something like that, and I did feel really bad for her.
Yeah,
she was torn up. My girl was heartbroken, man. I think she was really ready to pack them bags and become the trolley niggas main food. Like, she was ready. She was really ready. Like, she was about to be in San Francisco like weekly on 45-minute trips. Weekly. Yeah. That's so sad. Oh my god.
He probably would have been paying for them flights. Now they gotta pay for them diapers.
My girl Issa could not catch a break. Issa couldn't catch a break all.
No.
We only had one great highlight with the block party.
Dang, Karen, when you said like that, I feel bad for my girl.
My girl was struggling. Like, my girl, she had to, even on her own very own episode, like, it was a struggle. Like,
the man said, if you gonna help somebody, help.
Right. It was funny.
Issa had on her Snoop Dogg dress in this scene, and I loved it.
Yes.
It should give you Snoop Dogg vibes.
I don't even really remember what she had on, to be honest.
She had that plaid, and she had that button
that plaid shirt.
Oh.
I thought it was a dress. Was it not a dress?
I can't even remember what it was.
I
honestly,
think
when she
it
walked
was
in.
Adrian.
I'm trying to think when she walked in because she had that jacket on. I think over it, right? When she walked in.
I don't think she had a jacket on. Molly had on a
Lord,
jacket.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that shit. So that's my best friend. We learned that the person Issa pulled up on from the previous last week is Molly. You know, we were sitting here thinking could have been one of them niggas, but it was Molly. The season finishes with Issa and Molly clearly in a state where they need one another. After an entire episode in the season of going back and forth and questioning the friendship, the two end up at Mercado, the Ethiopian spot they enjoy. What a way to end.
What a way.
What a way. I love that ties it all back to them two just needing each other. I loved it.
Did you
I didn't like it because
I didn't like
it.
I was telling Quincy, I was like, I feel like if you don't need me or if we don't need each other in our strongest moments, it's toxic as hell for us to find each other or find need for each other when we're at the bottom of the barrel, you know what I'm saying? In our feelings.
I agree. I think they bonded over shared trauma, which probably isn't the most, genuine way for them to reconnect. Like Molly literally had to hit rock bottom and be dumped and lonely to make that call.
But I feel like, and I agree with that also, but I feel like the other side of the coin is it might also take like what Andrew said and her really thinking for her to realize that like I ain't it.
What Issa said was right. Yeah, like
right,
like
that was the breakthrough she needed.
Lose this man. I did lose.
We don't know the conversation that they're having as well. Like this conversation is blurred out. People are making assumptions that they're having conversations about, oh my God, this is what's happening in my life. Right. What's going on. No, they could really like Molly, because when they were talking back and forth, it seemed like Molly was saying like, I felt like you did me this way, and Issa was responding to it. It wasn't like, oh my God, you won't believe what's happening to me. Right.
I think them getting to that point is what I meant by they bonded over shared trauma. Like that meeting came because of what had happened to Molly, essentially.
Gotcha. That's fair.
Molly, I mean,
not the conversation.
We gotta embrace the fact that Molly reached out, period. Like that in itself is a lot for her. Like she reached out.
I just unfortunately think that Andrew breaking up with her and saying those harsh things to her was what it took, which is why I don't understand why, because it's like Issa was trying to tell you and your therapist who gets paid to do it, but I guess like Andrew solidifying it for her is what made it click.
I was on two sides of it because I was just like, on one hand, I'm just like, okay, it's good that they were able to come back together. Like, they needed each other. Boom, that's what friends are for. But then the other side, I was just like, I don't want them to become like almost like fail-safe friends, like in the point that Tony was making, like just because I'm going through something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of like, now I need to go to the person that I can talk to it about because now I'm going through, you know what I'm saying?
You're my fallback person, basically.
Yeah. And I guess in a sense, it could be looked at as a good thing because a lot of people say you can't find a friend when you're going through. So it just depends on how you look at it.
Along the same type of lines, because I don't think they just needed each other when they're down and out. I think maybe that's when they needed each other most. I remember during the block party when they was laying up against the wall, like I don't think Issa really got it. She had did it until Molly kind of made the comment about like she really pulled it off. And so the bottom line is neither one of them outside of the block party had the greatest of times or greatest of accomplishments throughout this season. So I don't think we've had the opportunity to see them needing each other when they're up outside of maybe like Self-Care Sunday and that little moment they had at the block party. And just like to Shakira's point, if your friend is not there for you and can't be there for you despite everything that y'all went through over these past couple of months, and she don't even know yet that Andrew has broken up with her. And so she still was willing to meet. Right. And that could have had a little bit to do with what she's going through, but just the fact that it doesn't matter. Like, if you call me, I'm coming. Right. I think it's just like not just because I'm in turmoil. I think if her and Lawrence would have been on a date and Molly would have called and said, I need you, Issa would have came.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think it was big. Like, even though I think Issa would have come, I think it was like when somebody said that, oh my God, like Molly called, like, let's just get. Issa was hurt by Molly, so the fact that she came, right, was, you know, that was just as big in this moment. The fact that she even came, because after that last conversation, she really could. Both of them really could have been done. They could have been done.
That's very true. They really could have, but it would have been unfortunate if they were, because they never really discussed.
They didn't. Like, it's one thing to be done after we have a conversation, but we didn't even get the conversation.
Yeah, like they never even got to tell, you know, we have heard the shots all throughout the season, but I think them coming together in this scene was them literally finally discussing what was going on with them individually and what affected them being friends. I think that's what that conversation was finally, because they now is no distractions, like, it's like, we are able to finally talk about this. And I can almost see what you were saying, because there are things that have happened that, you know, just like,
you know, I imagine
even when you think about it. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
I was going to say, even when you think about it, like, think about like Molly telling Issa, you always want to be in drama. And now she up in some shit with Condola pregnant. And then Issa telling Molly, you gonna mess up this relationship. Like, they were telling each other things about one another throughout the season that neither one of them wanted to like admit to. Right. And it took all of this to happen for them to probably be like, yo, old girl said that to me. Like, this makes sense now.
First of all, it was the getting loud for me.
Oh, my bad.
She had been some.
I thought my point was really good. But
I just had a little jokey joke. I said they probably was in there discussing how they ain't got no luck with these niggas and they just
no luck with these niggas.
Say, nigga, we ain't got no luck with these niggas. Let's just be best friends together for the rest of our lives. We ain't got no luck with these niggas.
I told you, they don't need to be best friends. They need to just make it happen with each other.
Oh, the shit, Molly.
Please, no lesbian writing. Oh, let me not say that. I'm gonna get canceled in that, I guess. Like 10 So hopefully next season she'll act. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. It's got real ghetto, Pooh. It got real ghetto.
Let me just disconnect this.
You sound normal now. Ooh.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Reconnected, Pooh. No, Pooh.
Please.
No. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Pooh.
You kill me every time with that Pooh, boy.
Why can't I be heard? Why can't I be heard?
Okay, we hear you now. We hear you now.
Don't try to add that laugh in here.
I don't even know what the hell I was even saying anymore. Damn. Oh, okay. The season was overall very, very good. The fashions, the music, the acting outside.
But Molly looked a little old in that teal, don't you think?
She did. I hated that.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah. I didn't like it.
Which one of y'all said she looked like Claire?
And she had the freaking shoulder pads added in too.
Yeah,
like,
now I ain't mad at shoulder pads, but it just didn't go with that. Cause
when she took the jacket
I love a good shoulder pad.
When she took the jacket off and it was just the shirt in the top and then the heels, it brought it all together. But that jacket, I was just like, LA is not that damn cold. Like, I don't.
It was like blew me every time.
Everybody had on sweaters and stuff.
Look the mess.
Yeah,
sweaters and coats.
Yeah,
and then go outside and it be looking like it's 90 degrees out there.
I said they filming and they hot. They hot. I mean, I'm assuming.
She did say on Twitter, "See y'all next year, Corona willing."
COVID willing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
And they've already started writing the next season. I read today, so.
But a writer
I was talking to somebody earlier, and I said we probably won't have a season for 2 years, and that's the only thing that bothers me.
What did you say, Jessica?
I was saying a writer said on Twitter on Sunday 2059.
Not 2059.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Start over.
I was like, let me just go ahead and end the recording so that we wrap it up.
Shakira, what is happening?
Why are you fighting the air?
Right. Look, you couldn't even take yourself serious. That's what I said.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, I guess we gotta have like an ending.
All right, now that I got it out, go ahead, say it.
Yes. Well, first I want to thank all of y'all for coming on these calls every single week and really diving into this show. Like I don't think I've ever done any deep diving into any television series the way we did with Insecure. So I definitely I enjoyed it. I know that people who have contacted me, they love listening to it. They say y'all funny as hell. Thank you, Jessica, holding me down for one or 2 weeks.
It wasn't long.
I'm out. I'm tapped out. I don't have it in me. I'm tapped out. You're on your own.
You did too good at the job. You know what happens when you do good at the job. They make you do more work.
Yeah, she definitely shoved that damn task on my ass.
It was the PowerPoint, sis. You should have left the PowerPoint alone.
I should have never brought that PowerPoint. After that PowerPoint, she said, "Oh."
I just want to let you know, Karen, this is your thing.
Yes. Made it very clear she was tapped out.
She said, "No, wait." This is what she said. I'm not doing it anymore.
I thought I could meet her halfway. We could do a little co. No, this is it. But either way, I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful, and I cannot wait for season 5. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it again. I don't care if Corona going on or not. I would love to still.
We should be able to carve out some time.